Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the fifth day of our mastermind. This weekend, I will integrate Hannah's spreadsheet that has everyone's current situation, and we can see how far we've come over the next 2 months. I'm going to show you guys, I've updated the sheet a little bit with a new calculator for everyone. So I want everyone to think about this first milestone, which is $6,000 a month profit. And $6,000 a month profit, people can usually at least get by. I've simplified this to 20 items per day. So 20 items per day, you guys can download a copy of this and enter in just these yellow boxes, and it will tell you how big your store needs to be. So if it takes you 3 months to sell an item, then you'll need an 1,800 item store to reach this goal of 2,000 or $200 per day profit. And then you can adjust it for how much you pay per item, what's your ideal profit, and it will tell you how much you need to sell the item for. So if you buy your items for $5 and you want to make 10, you've got to sell them for 18 plus shipping. That's the math behind this, more or less. And this will help you guys really stay on track. Now, the reason why I bring this up in today's call, which is about sorting, is because this number right here, I'm going to put this in a box right now. This is the most controversial number in reselling, which is how long does it take for the item to sell? That's hard. You would only know this if you were an expert in what you sell, because you have to estimate. Now, everyone could sell everything every day if it was $1 free shipping. You probably would sell out of your whole store, but that's not going to optimize the profit. So everything we do is a balance between how fast do you want to sell it versus the profit that you are comfortable with. So that's why this number is controversial, because it's going to be different depending on your level of risk. Everything else is the same though. So today I want to have an open discussion on how we plan on sorting things, and how I want everyone to think of sorting at first is number one, I want you to sort by how fast it sells. When you look at your pile, right? Instead of looking at high profit obviously is nice too, but sometimes a high profit item won't sell fast.
It's already
So,
on YouTube, so
so yeah, if you prioritize high profit items that don't sell fast, you'll have a cash flow problem. So I always recommend listing the items that will sell the fastest first. And that's just going to be based on how many people are looking for it and your price. Those are the two things. J. Crew doesn't sell really fast, right? So it wouldn't be something that you prioritize listing if you have a bunch of stuff and there's other more rare things in it. So sorting is really, really important, because if you get to work and everything is already ready to go, then it's easy. So as an example, when I was on eBay, the goal was 105 listings a day, and I'm at the photo station right now. So down here to the left, I would set up 105 items for each photographer. And for Whatnot, it's the same. I'm setting up 100 auctions per person per day. It's already ready to go. These are items that are ready to be photographed. They've already been sorted, and they're set. That way, when my crew gets here, they know exactly what to do. So for me personally, I'm a better employee than I am entrepreneur. So it's better that people just tell me what to do and I do it. So I'm doing that service for you guys. The sorting part is hard. You need to do it the day before. It's hard to sort and then get into it, because it can take a variable amount of time. You want your work to be the same, the prep time to be different. So I recommend doing that at the end of the day. So Chad's asking, are there some ballpark numbers for estimating the time to sell? Yes. Let me give you guys an example. Let's go on eBay right now. We're going to look at Apple iWatch. Okay. So Apple Watch. In the Apple Watch category, there's 26,000 search, but we're going to be really specific and just look for Apple Watch Series 7. I think that's the most current. Okay. There are 1,200 available for sale, right? Let's go ahead and click on the sold. You can see 3,300 have sold. This is a fast seller. You can sell it right at market and it will probably sell right away, actually, within a day. But at the longest, it's going to take 1 month to sell through. So for this kind of an item that has a higher number sold, than available, right? You want to price the item much higher and closer to market because there are so many, I'm sorry, they sell really fast. So you want to get all the money. Items that sell really slow, though, you might want to go really low. Like an example would be, let's look at this. Let's look at Eileen Fisher. We look at the brand, there's 90,000 available for sale. You click on sold. There's 36,000 available. So rough math, 12,000 each month sell, right? Out of 90,000, which is horrible. But this is considered a really good brand in reselling, in my opinion. So we're talking about only 12,000 out of 90,000 selling each month, which is like, I don't know, 12, 15%. So that's all right, but we're looking for great. So if you want to speed up your sell-through rate, you would get more nuance than this. So let's click on extra large. Extra large, there's 5,000 for sale. And let's look at how many sold. 5,000. So this Eileen Fisher extra large has a one-third sell-through rate, meaning your item will sell in 3 months. But Eileen Fisher in general, only 12,000 will sell each month out of 90. So that's like, on average, it will take you 10 months to sell Eileen Fisher. But if you pick extra large only, it's going to take only 3 months to sell through. That's why you can't listen to a haul video, because it doesn't matter. Whatever the person bought in the haul video will not apply to you. It's a different size, different pattern. So you need to really be nuanced. If your sales are slow, you need to be way more picky. And the day before you start photographing and listing, you need to sort through your stuff and see, is this stuff going to sell quickly? Prioritize that. Yeah. Okay. So actually it's saying you can narrow down the item specifics and price to see your sell through better for your specific item. That's true. Also, price point is going to be key here. Eileen Fisher in extra large is more price sensitive. So that what that means is a good deal on an extra large will move fast, but a good deal on a size small will not move fast. So you might as well not give it away because it's going to take a while. You need to find somebody who's that size looking for it instead of extra large, which is the most common. Hannah, what's up?
So I just wanted to touch on that. I think something you have to think about as well, especially with like clothes, and I guess sometimes with like home decor and stuff, is like seasonality, looking at that sell through for the last 3 months.
Yep.
Because, you know, like if you're in Goodwill and it's the end of January and you look at the sell through on Christmas items, they're taking into consideration October, November, December. So the sell throughs could be 100% when in fact the sell through right now is like 2%.
That's a great point. I actually think for clothing, everyone should think 1 year, because you can get all the seasons at least one time, regardless of what you buy. It's just that most people are impatient. So if you're impatient, you need to buy Eileen Fisher extra large. But Eileen Fisher in general is fine. 12,000 selling every month means your item will sell in a year, which is still pretty good. Most retail stores, they don't even make money until Black Friday, which is the last week of November. So it's okay to, if you can afford it, to have a store and wait a full year, in my opinion, because you get most of the money. If you wait, if you buy some Sorel boots right now, you're going to get more money in November and December. Just because people are looking for it. Go ahead, Hannah.
Right. So like I started picking up shorts and like swim trunks in March and started listing them. But if I look at I looked at the sell through for swim trunks, like no matter what the brand, for the last 3 months, including December, January, was like crap. But then 2 weeks later, my sell through on swim trunks, like I couldn't post them fast enough.
Yep.
So is there I guess I'm just saying, like, sell through, especially I think with seasonal clothes like that, like isn't everything. You also have to watch out for like the seasons of your clothing items. And it's best to, I think, post them a month or two before, you know, when the sell through, if you looked it up, wouldn't look that good.
That's true. So as an example, let's talk about Christmas stuff. It's basically free January 1st, right? You can go to the store and it's 99% off. Plus, we'll help you do your car. They don't want it after Christmas, but during November 15th through December 15th is really expensive and hard to find. So I think you list Christmas all year because there's still people looking for it, right? It's not going to sell as fast as in December. So I call buying the current in season cheating because it is. Like last year, I didn't want my sell-through rate to go down during summer slowdown. So I just bought 80% shorts. So I didn't have any summer slowdown, but shorts are more expensive now, right now, next month, July, than they are in November when they're free and nobody wants them. So you just have to, if you want fast sell-through, which is, I think you can fix any problem with fast sell-through. If things sell quickly, you can adjust. And if you don't make enough profit, you can just stop buying that. But if an item is selling too slowly, you get in trouble. So that being said, if you're new and if you're just starting or you're trying to repair your store, buy only in season or like you said, Hannah, 1 or 2 months before. If you're in a crunch, and some people are always in a crunch. Like my friend Prince told me that he wants 100% sell through every single month. If you want that, you can only pick in season, which makes it more difficult. That means you're on every single swimwear site looking right now. You're going to 2 or 3 times as many Goodwills, only going to the swim section because you need that. So I'm going to give you guys an example of how impatient people are. Hustlebee came out with Hustler Hacks to hang out with me for a couple of days. They went to 18 stores, right? And didn't buy anything. Like how many people can do that? They can go to 18 straight stores and pass on every single item because their minimum profit threshold was 40. That's not that easy. Trying to get $40 per item is hard. So I went to the first store and I was done for the day. We went to Burlington Coat Factory. I found these Ralph Lauren boots that were, I think, marked down to $6. And it was either August or September when they came. So I was like, okay, these are $6 or $7. They'll sell for $30 to $40 in the winter. I'm done for the day. Went to one store and I went home, listed them. I was done. We started at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m. I was done shopping. They sourced till 11 p.m. because here Ross opens till 11 p.m. In some areas it opens till 1 a.m. It's crazy here. So like they went all day and by like 5 p.m. they still hadn't found anything. But that's a different kind of, that's sourcing specifically high profit items. And Arwen, they were searching for soccer cleats. That's what they were looking for. So the soccer cleat, buy for 20, sell for 100 is their model. Buy for 20, sell for 100. You have a little bit of a room to offer a little discount, make $40. So you have to look through all of the stores to find, I think they ended up getting an average of 10 pair a day, which is still great, but it takes all day. It's all day driving, road warrior to do that. So that's something to consider. And also, this is something to consider. They will wait 2, 3, 4 years to get all the money. They never discount. Like if you look at the Hustlebee store, every single thing is full price. He will wait till he's the only one and you have to pay 100 or more to get it. And he's not shy about that because he wants to make $40 profit an item. So if you want all the money, you need a bigger store, you need more capital, you need more space, but it's technically less work because you're not churning through it. But you have to live in a place where you can sustain you have to be able to hold the stuff for a while. If you live in an expensive area, usually you have more access to expensive stuff. So in my recommendation, you sell through fast. So let's see. Richard is asking, would you suggest buying out of season and waiting the post of the season? I think yes. Like there's a gentleman in the group that only sells Halloween and he buys all year and sells only in October. It makes like $60,000 profit October only and doesn't do any, like that's it. Every other month just holds it, lists it all 1 month and sells it all 1 month. And then if it doesn't sell, that's fine. It'll sell next year. But are people patient to do that? Because you can get Halloween costumes for 90% off November 1st. So it depends if you're going to do that market. It comes down to just being an expert. One more thing that happened in the morning call that I wanted to share with everyone is that if you are in one category, you can charge more and you get more than one order in the same size. Your order size goes up. So if everyone can just be patient and you can have 2,000 of the same thing in your store. You can charge a little bit more and you can get someone to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same thing. Like as an example, I had like the market cornered on AG jeans for a long time. I had 1 month where I averaged 9 jeans per sale. Some like 16 jeans one lady, 15 jeans one lady, all one size. But I was basically picking up 200 pairs every weekend. So I had not all of them, but I had like so many of the same thing that I also started to slowly bump up my price and it was fine. So um, niching down helps with sorting. Sort by whatever sells fastest. Also, usually people don't have a problem sourcing home runs anyway. I'm sorry, listing home runs. You find something that's really profitable, usually that one gets listed. It's the questionable stuff that doesn't get listed. David's asking, as you know, if you sell 23 pounds, you make a great margin. Okay, this is great. I don't think in the UK, I definitely wouldn't worry about selling stuff lower. It's just because jeans are easy to find. Any jeans that are over 50 pounds, I'd probably wait and get all the money. But if it's under 30 pounds, I wouldn't because there's just so many. Like, okay, even though I can sell a pair of AG jeans for $25, I'll take 13. I don't care. I can find them all the time. Doesn't matter. But if it was a pair of mother jeans, I need all the money because they're so hard to find. I want all of it. So, but even then, like if somebody were to offer me 45, I probably would still take it, even though maybe you can get 70. It's still like, it's not so rare. Like, let's say Fear of God jeans, if you found those and they're worth 1,000, maybe those ones you wait and get 1,000. But like, I don't know. It is interesting looking at the market of that. Okay, and I have never found any like Levi's that I've sold for more than 1,000. I know some people get like, what's her face? Is it Savannah? What's that lady's name? Didn't she sell some crazy $2,000 or $4,000 jacket recently on Instagram? But if you were only in denim, you would eventually run into that. Arwen's saying with soccer cleats and even trainers, you think time is on your side. Yeah, I think if you want to get all the money, you should be ready to hold. And if you want to move quick, I would sell women's trainers, running shoes at the Nike outlet. The Clutch Swag, Kevin, you guys should follow him. He makes 6 figures at his day job and 6 figures reselling women's trainers, essentially, at volume. And he's really into himself. That's why I had to unfollow him. But Kevin is really cool. But he's really smart. He figured out how to get 60, 80, 90, 100 pairs of the same style by working at the Nike outlet, befriending everybody, and then they all do the work for him. When the trainers come in, they let him know, okay, we've got this size run. He says, great. He texts them all of the gift cards. They run all the gift cards. They put it to the side. He drives in, loads his car up, goes home. Doesn't even go in. That is like, I have seen that at the Nike outlet, and I don't know how it's amazing. The people who can buy 600, 800 pairs at one time, friends and family, that takes a little bit more homework. But think about that versus you waiting in line for 4 hours to check out one time to buy 10, because there's only a 10-person limit, 10 pair limit per person. In order to get around that, you would need 4 employees, each buying 10. Random gift cards so they can't check. But even Nike is cracking down. They're making it more difficult. They're not allowing returns as much now. It's part of this resale game, but take your time when you're picking a niche and you can basically create an unfair advantage. Arwen, then Hannah.
Hi there. Just quick question, Chris. I've got the same amount of inventory coming for like trainers, so shoes and close. And what I tend to do is basically I would go for a couple of days, let's say taking the pictures and listing the trainers. And then when I get bored of that, I just switch to close again. And I wanted to ask you, is there any problem when it comes to my account in order to have these listings going up as trainers for a whole week and then close and then no?
No, there's not, but it would be better if you had both going up. But it's not going to be a problem for your store because there's still activity. I haven't seen any, like, you have A, B, C category. It would be better if you listed A, B, and C every day. But all A, all B, all B, all C, I think it's been similar. I haven't had anybody say that this category fell off because I stopped listing in it. As long as it's quality items going into all categories, I think it's fine.
Okay, and just a quick question then. You just was talking about jeans, and I am not a big fan of jeans, to be fair, because the return rate is quite high, even though I do measurements and everything. And I basically can get them for £1 here in England, and I can get unlimited Levi's, like as many as I want. They honestly crazy. And I wanted to ask you, having that chance of getting so many jeans, what model would you adopt if I was gonna go for them, if that makes sense? Because I know there's profit to be made for £1 is nearly nothing, but is like what game do you play? Like, do you want for, do you go for all the money, or you just have a quick and just let them go for 15 or £20?
Okay, so if you have unlimited supply of anything, you can build a business around that. It's easier. It's easier, in my opinion, to create a jean business where you physically sort. So Ben, I'm going to relate this to Ben's question of how do you physically sort by how fast when it comes into your space. So for me, if I get in 300 pairs of jeans, essentially what I'm going to look for is what's going to sell. What's going to sell fast is usually stuff that's under $30. So you're going to look at brand, style, size, fit, whichever ones sell first. And if you're going to be in the jean business, then you would know which categories do well. And then I would call it the grail section, where you're not willing to take a discount. Those you would sort out at the same time. So it's very difficult to do the $1 jean thing if you don't sometimes get lucky. What I found is that some of the $1 jean suppliers, you never get lucky. It's all garbage. But if you can source from a supplier and even pay 2 or 3 or 4, and sometimes there's expensive jeans in there, it makes up for it. I would say that's a better supplier. The $1 means it's already been filtered 8 times before it gets there. So you just have to get a little earlier in the supply chain than the very end, just so you're not stuck with stuff that's all really low. But it would be easier to actually not easy. It's the same difficulty to either get good at soccer cleats or do jeans, because they both require a different system. Jeans are cool because you actually don't, if you do a flat lay on a surface, you can get away with not using a hanger, which is much faster than putting it on a hanger. But I'll show you, like, let's look at it. I want to show you this because okay. Let's look at this video. In the desktop. Okay, so let me show you guys. If you sell jeans, right? Let me look here. Okay, this is me taking photos of jeans, right? You putting this, if you use a hanger, right? You can actually flip the jeans after you're done taking the pictures. I'll show you. Wait. Okay, let me back up. Regardless if you do jeans or shoes, you can get your process down really fast. So it only takes me 90 seconds to take a picture of jeans and put it away in the bag. So it took me 16 minutes to do 10 items, photographing it and putting it away. And as the final senior thesis for this mentorship, everyone needs to have a friend film them through 10 items. It'll change your life. So that's all you could just leave the mentorship now. If you have somebody film you doing 10 items start to finish, you will see like 90 things that are wrong, and you can just go back and fix it. So pay somebody on, go on Craigslist and say, I need you to follow me around with my phone for however long it takes for 10 items. And then if we watch that video, we could solve like all of your problems. Because that's, again, it just comes down to process. Whatever your process is for shoes or jeans, it's easier though when supply is set. If you know what you're gonna sell, it's way easier. Way easier. Let's see. Is all the money more doable for part-time? Yes. If you're part-time, I would spend 80% of your time sourcing and 20% of your time listing. If you're gonna do the volume model, you spend most of your day sorting because you buy bulk. Bulk does not work part-time because you don't have enough time. You have to sort this giant pile of stuff into the right categories. And if you don't have a brick and mortar like Tech and Sports, it's very difficult to buy large enough where you can get all the good stuff. So like if you find a place where you can buy $1 jeans, somebody's already found all the good stuff, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. I think around 4 pounds earlier in the chain somewhere, those jeans would be better. That's like the magic number, $4, 4 pounds. Okay, let's see. Yes, I sort before I take pictures. The people who come and do photographs, everything's already done. Everything's already repaired. It's just photography and putting it in bags or putting it away. Sam says he finds $1 jeans that sell for 15 to 20. I made like $500,000 doing that. That's like the easiest model if you don't care about getting a lot of returns, which I don't. Doesn't fit, no problem. How do you charge shipping? I charge shipping. Well, I don't know how Sam does it. Sam, how do you do it? I charge $8.99. What'd you do, Sam? Hopefully you can chat.
Yeah, I charged $8.99 flat rate.
Okay. Sometimes customers will complain about that being too high, but not really. Okay. Also, I used to charge $6.99 and $7.99, and my sales didn't change when I switched to $8.99. So it made me even think $9.99. So what I did was, I don't know if this is a super hack or what, but I did $8.99 for economy shipping and $9.99 for priority shipping for jeans, even though 99% of them ship priority anyway. So sometimes I got lucky and somebody paid an extra $1 for it to be shipped priority, even though I ship priority anyway. That was like a sneaky thing I thought maybe it would work. I didn't go back and actually check because I just went all priority in the cardboard envelope. Bethany's asking, is there a major difference between listing 250 in 5 days versus spreading them out? Yes, because eBay is going to give you X amount of traffic per day, per item. So back to Arwen's question of listing cleats and then listing jeans or something else, you get different traffic for different types of items. That's why it can fluctuate a little bit, but I think it's okay as long as you're consistent. But if you go 50 and then 0, 50 and then 0, I think it's confusing for eBay's algorithm. We're going to switch gears just for a moment before Chad and Hannah. Amber, I don't know if I got an intro from you, so let me know where you're from, what you sell, and how we can best serve you.
Yes, I did. I did an intro the other day, but yeah, I'm Amber from Georgia.
I remember. Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what was your other question?
How can we serve you best?
I'm thinking I just need to niche down because, like I was saying the other day, I'm just all over the place. So I think me niching down and sticking to maybe one category or two categories would help speed up the process, and I won't have to do as much research. But I like the flat charge. I usually do calculated, but sometimes sometimes it will be, if I'm shipping to California out where you're at or whatnot, it's going to be a lot higher. And I think a lot of buyers tend to not want to buy it because of the shipping price. But if it can fit in a flat rate, then I may as well do the flat rate for the flat charge.
I remember talking to you because I changed the calculator. Okay. I wrote here, everything seller is okay. All right. You can still make 60K. And the way that you do it, you still need to list 20 items a day, but I would get a plastic bin, put your 20 items into it, and then just list one bin at a time. And it can be everything. It doesn't have to be one niche, because 20 is a doable amount where you don't overwhelm yourself and want to jump off a bridge. 20 is okay. It could be 20 all random items. It's not that bad. More than 20 though starts to really destroy your life. It's too hard.
Oh yeah.
So everything seller is okay. It won't ruin your life. You can still do it. It's just a little bit more work. So one more thought on David. In the UK, you have to have free shipping in order to qualify for top rated plus, I believe. So when you charge for shipping, when you offer free shipping, it gives you one less thing to negotiate with, and it's very difficult to make a profit. So I think even in the UK, I would just pass on the I would not opt into that program. I would still charge for shipping, because that way you can make money on one part of it. Because for a return, if you have a free shipping, you have to pay for both ways. And it's very hard, especially in jeans where the return rate is high. I wouldn't do free shipping and build it into the price. I would subtract it out. Let's see. Brittany has moved into buying pallets. They're pretty expensive, but the price per item is similar. 1/3 goes to the consignment store, donate the third. Let's see. You sort all the items before boxing them up from fastest to slowest selling. Yes. Okay. So if I got a pallet in, I would sort out what I don't want to list immediately, and I would do it as close to the front door as possible. So take the pallet in, sort out what's not going to be sold, separate that immediately. And then depending on what your listing goal is, you may not need to spend a lot of time sorting. Maybe you can just list that pallet in a few days without spending too much time, as long as you list all of that. And Brittany, you still have stuff that you haven't listed. So you need to build that in after. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff. But those bags are from my last pallet that I got last week, or the last two. So yeah, I guess I'm wondering, like, should I sort it all, like you were saying, from fast to sell it, and then box it up in like that kind of order? Because what I've been doing is just like sorting it by like what it is, since there's a lot of similar items and I can put them in one listing with different sizes. So, and then I just grab a box, list that one or bag, and I try to get through like 2 a day.
So I think how I would sort it by pallet is I would sort it by category. I wouldn't take each category and do it. So I would list shoes before jeans. I would list. That's
kind of what I do in the bags.
Yeah. That's perfect. Okay. I would say you definitely need to just trying to think here. The pallet, every pallet that I have purchased has been not as worth it.
Yeah. Well, I was driving like 7 hours to Portland to stay with my sister for a week and sourcing there, because she has like several outlets, Goodwill outlets. And I mean, I've just had terrible luck with even like my Goodwills, garage sales. It just takes me so long to find enough items. And so the pallets just saved me a lot of money, but it's also a lot of risk because they're all unmanifested. So
yeah, as long as you need a system to get rid of the lower ones and at least make a little money, because that helps a little bit. And then ideally, the way that they sell pallets is they bundle the top third good stuff with the bottom third garbage.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you can do that yourself and just sell the mids. So you could put on Facebook Marketplace come get all this awesome stuff, but you also, like you make your own lot. And
Right.
it's all the best stuff from the lot and all the garbage, and pass the buck, and then you sell the medium stuff. You just have to not be greedy and let them have it.
Okay.
You have to
Yeah,
let
I've
them
thought
have the
about like
whole-
saving stuff and then having like a yard sale like twice a year, but I just don't have the storage room for that. So I have to get all that stuff out that I'm not going to sell like immediately.
Yeah, you have to have a way to get rid of the bottom third
Okay.
immediately. That's why Tech's brick and mortar option is so powerful. But Facebook Marketplace is also the best place to sell the lots.
Okay.
Yeah, Arwen's having a problem getting rid of the garbage. It's eating up a lot of space. Yeah, it comes with the lots generally. So yeah, you need to be cognizant of space, time, and also it is possible to find a place where you can buy pallets and leave the stuff that you don't want there. That's a little bit more expensive than being able to find someone that comes to your house and takes the stuff that you don't want, because that's easier. But the bottom third is the challenge with pallets. And some people sell the top 2/3 and store the bottom third. And they just don't deal with it at all. And that would work in a collectible category. If it's not collectible, though, it doesn't work, because like Jack, who hopefully will join this call, he's selling only graded video games on eBay. So all the great stuff goes on the eBay. So he's the Grail only, what Chad was mentioning earlier, only home run store. The mids go to Amazon, and then he doesn't list at all the lows. They just go into a storage unit. And because he's in the video game category, sometimes he gets lucky, and those old games that suck are now good. But that doesn't work in a lot of categories. Garbage is still garbage. It doesn't become gold over time. But in the collectibles market, you can do that, which is amazing. Let's go with Chad. Chad, what's up?
Yeah, I just had a quick question, kind of in regards to, we talk about niching down to a category or two or whatever. Can that kind of come into play too with experimenting with models and sorting? So like, the all the money model, or buying pallets and things like that. I've kind of experimented. Like right now I'm in a place where on Fridays, like I just got back, I kind of I make sure I get enough for the week, and then if I get a little extra, cool. And I don't have much in storage. I have some winter stuff that I'm holding on till winter, but I kind of do that. But I've also done the model where this church garage sale they do every month, they didn't want the clothes, and so for $40 they would give me like 400 pounds 500 pounds of clothes unsorted, and I would pull out Grail t-shirts and stuff. That was fun, but it took a long time to go through that, and then I'm left with like 50 pieces that I really want to sell, and then like 300 pounds of clothes. I'm like, and so I don't know if there's some way that we can that you recommend experimenting with that, and when to know when to pull the trigger, when not to, which, kind of in regards to niching down your category as well, what kind of model you want to do.
So I don't know if this is replicatable, what I personally do, but what I do is I buy from the person that buys the second most pallets from Goodwill. So the person that buys the second most pallets from Goodwill, and I know at that level, it's by the semi truck. So it's a lot. So I get to pick through that stuff, and I leave what I don't want there. So
what
I don't
do you do with
know.
the rest? Oh, you leave it there, you said.
I leave it there.
Okay.
So then other people look through it too, and they still find stuff out of it. And there's like 10 different levels of that before it goes to a rag house, which is how Tech does it. He has people searching rag houses, Goodwill. He has people everywhere looking for this stuff. But when he told me that he only has keepers, I thought, how is that possible? How can you get stuff coming? All of it is sellable, right? But until I realized that it's just hand picking, but more people.
When did you realize that model worked for you? When did you say, yes, this is how I'm going to do it? Like, or what? Like,
my sorting process is I walk from my car. I move the pile from my car right here. It's already, I sort there, and then I bring only the stuff that I want to list here. The if I ordered pallet, and I have, like as an example, Jomar, I bought tons of stuff from them, probably 10 pallets from them. I'd say of the 10 pallets, I bought 2 pallets were good total. So I had 8 pallets of garbage. That's hard. The 2 pallets of garbage or good stuff did pay for all of it, but that's a lot of junk. That's so much stuff. So I don't know. It's almost like you need to create your own dollar sale and your own flea market vendor. Or how do you get rid of that stuff that doesn't?
Would you recommend, if you can't do that, to not buy the pallets? Or
Yeah,
just to-
absolutely. Pallet is
Okay.
not pallet is what's the model called? 7 days a week, all day, whatever that model is.
So
It's
what
not
is the
part-time.
perfect, what is the dream scenario for, like, is it like you said, people bringing it to you sorted,
No,
clean?
it's not, because that's still a pain in
Okay.
the ass. Because you have to
Okay.
do enough volume to buy all their stuff. The dream model is 30 a day by yourself. You go out hunting, you find 210 items. Brittany goes once every 2 weeks, goes hard. I know it's horrible because it is a weird, especially with kids. I don't know exactly how I would do it, but that's the most peaceful way to do eBay, because you have your cost of goods is under $10 and your average sale price is over 30. You've cherry picked everything. If you're in a cash crunch, you can just discount your items and they'll sell. But if you have items that are under $20, when you discount them, they don't sell faster. You just get less money.
And your garage is clean because you're only buying for what you're
And your
listing.
garage is clean. And if you enjoy the stuff, you only have nice stuff to look at. Because some people are into that. So that's the most peaceful way to do it. There is no bulk part-time model. I've never heard of that. That works. Like the Rinzi model, I'm watching them. They spend 2 days sourcing for shoes, right? We go out there all day long looking for shoes. That definitely works. The only part of that model that I don't like is that they both go. I would split up. And do 1 day where you guys go different directions and then spend 1 day, unless you like hanging out with each other. That's cool, but that's so much, that cuts their hourly rate in half by doing that. That's a tough gig. It's almost
Is the main
like,
reason that doesn't work part-time, the bulk model, is because the sorting takes so stinking long?
and you can't get rid of the bottom third.
Yeah.
You don't have any time or resources to do that. That's why you can crush it if you know the church sale doesn't like clothing, you know the local storage guy doesn't like it. The person that's buying pallets that doesn't want clothes, you need to meet that person. So actually that's the setup for Brittany and London. They need to find a local person that buys pallets and they let them pick. That's not too hard to set up, because the people who buy pallets are very busy and they don't have time and they want that help for you to come in and sort. So essentially what I'm doing when I go sort for the people who buy for the auctions, I'm separating men's, women's, kids for them. There's no way I'm losing that gig, because I go there and I do all the work, separate it for them. I tell them this is worth more money. Also, I don't sell any bootleg stuff, but there's tons of bootleg stuff. So I say, you sell this at the flea market, this fake Burberry, awesome at the flea market, gets me suspended on eBay. So you keep it, you make all the money here. And there's so much fake Burberry. I think there's one at every single thrift store, but that sells fine. They can pretend, but they just mark it as blue tag and get away with it. But yeah, it's the bulk part-time model doesn't work because you don't have enough time to sort. It's too time consuming. It would work okay if you had a lot of cheap space, but it would still be hard. Like, I know Scavenger Life, they bought big lots of stuff when I listened to them, but they had a big farm. They had an eBay building to put stuff in, which is cool. Or the people who there's a license plate seller that buys by the truckload. And he's like, 1 order, I just list the license plates all year. That's cool too. And there's an auto parts seller now that's going to buy a big lot of parts and then list them all over time. So that model does work, but you still have to order. Oh, I'm sorry. That model only works if you order all the same thing. So for Arwen, that would work for jeans. but he would just have to be an expert at these for sure need to exit immediately. Don't take up the space and go back in. Let's go to London and then back to Hannah.
Okay, so if I like picked up what you were putting down correctly, you don't think I should be buying pallets myself?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my end goal, and I'm already talking to these guys, within a year, I want to be buying semi trucks full of pallets from them. And what I'm doing now is I'm just loading, when I go pick up these pallets myself, I'm loading everything into like the blue IKEA bags that are big.
Yep.
And then when I get home, I just throw them all in my storage pod. And then every single day, I just go pick up 1, 2, 3 of those bags and I just list everything in the bag. And I have been lucky where I don't end up with that many duds. And the duds I do have, I just yard sell. So I feel like for me, buying these pallets directly is actually a huge time saver. I feel like if I got a middleman involved, it would be not so great.
Are you I feel like that's not part-time though, what you do, or is it?
Oh, it's not. I eat, sleep, dream day. and the thing that right now kind of sucks is like my sales aren't where I want them to be. Like I want this to be a $300,000 a year gig, but I understand that I've got to pay my dues. I guess like
okay, it works if you're full-time. It's just you need the time to be able to sort. It's like it's just time consuming to do that part. So if you can minimize the duds or get rid of the duds, or if you yard sale, that's really smart, because then also you don't need to go somewhere else to do it, and you make a couple extra bucks. Yeah,
gotcha.
lotting is the easiest way to get rid of the lower end stuff.
Yeah, and donating is great too. I love to donate, but yeah, I think I just feel kind of stuck because I do have all this great inventory, like you say. It's just it comes down to like I need to be able to put in those full-time hours, and right now it's just been tricky. So anyway, sorry, you can answer Hannah's question.
That's right. No, that's right. It's just a lot of sorting. It's fine. You can do pallets as long as you have time. It's just not a part-time model. The people who do the okay, let me back up. There is one form of it where it's part-time, and that's where you just don't deal with the lower third of stuff and you just store it. If you have a building where you can put it, that's completely fine.
Which I do, and then I flip it at yard sales. Okay.
Yeah, that would work because so Jennifer's asking if you have excess inventory that doesn't meet the parameters, it's long tail and less desirable. So let's talk about this real quick. Just it's either highly profitable, sells fast, highly profitable, sells slow, sells slow. What is it? Oh yeah, low profit, sells fast, low profit, sells slow. Okay, there's 4 categories of inventory, right? Sells fast and it makes a lot of money. Everybody loves those. Highly profitable but sells slowly. That's like the home run game. Low profit sells fast is usually the volume model, and the low profit sells slow is the worst category, right? You can lot that up and it becomes low profit sells fast. That's what you do with it. So somebody like, as an example, Flip, the company, you can get like a consignment lot from them, but it's tricky because you don't have to pay for the lot, right? So you get the inventory coming to you, but you're not going to make much money because you didn't pay for it up front. So you give the trade-off, right? So if you're someone trying to make it an extra $100 a week, that's great. You don't have to do anything. The inventory comes to you, you list it, you don't have to pay for it. But if you're trying to make $1,000 a week, you need to buy it yourself. So the cost of goods goes down and you make way more money. So yeah, that's it. Hannah?
So it sounded like at the beginning that you were saying that we should sort by what sells fast and list that first.
Yep.
Okay. And
so as an example, let me go ahead.
Like monetarily, why does that make sense? Because if you're going to list it all eventually.
Okay. So I'm going to use the palette as an example. You buy a bunch of stuff. So let's say 100 items. The bottom third suck. So those are the items that, let's say, you're only going to make $1 a piece. So you say to those 33 items, I'm going to lot it all up and put it on Facebook Marketplace, and it will sell today. That's what I mean. So you donating it is also a form of selling it. It's just that you get zero money. That's a form of getting rid of it. Because the cash flow, okay, the ultimate model, and this can happen, is when you buy a pallet and you sell the lower third and the top third for the cost of the pallet. That's the ultimate model. You just got the middle third for free. That's essentially what you're doing anyway when you buy a pallet. Somebody has already done that one time. But that's the ultimate resale model. So the fast part, okay, you are ultimately going to list all of it. So for me, using your example, Hannah, when I go from my car to here, I don't sort it anymore. I've already sorted it. It just arrives and then every single item gets listed, and I don't sort like pants and tops or shoes.
Okay, so like if you're like someone like, I mean, so I know some of us do like estate sales, Goodwill, where we're picking each and every item.
That one doesn't matter. I guess you can just come home and list all of it.
Just list it bag by bag, doesn't matter.
It only matters if you can't list all of it.
Right.
If you can list all of it, then list all of it. Like if your listing goal is 10 and you're only buying 10, that's a great place to be.
Okay, yeah, I guess that was my question. I was like, if I'm listing all of it and I know that it's all going to be listed and it's all the same, pretty much, then there's no point in like spending the time like, oh, these 5 items are going to sell slightly faster than these 5 items.
Yep. All the money is in mids, like London is saying. If you guys ever go to a fancy restaurant, don't order the middle option because it's always the most profit. They know people don't want the lowest, but they don't want the highest. They pick the middle, but you end up, that's where they get you. Because they know that. That's why, like, it's really weird to me that people buy a BMW 3 Series because it's really expensive still, but not as good as like an M3. You might as well buy a Honda Accord. You're not fooling anyone. To me, I'm like, you just bought the brand, the badge on the regular thing, right? So like, that's where Burberry makes all their money, like on a regular item with the Burberry stamped on it. That's not cool to me, but the Burberry scarf's cool. That's what they're known for. So like, it's interesting that that's where you make all the money though, because you use the Burberry brand to sell that polo, which is worth nothing, for $15 because it has the Burberry tag on it. So that's what we're doing right now, is looking for those mids. And I think that I'm glad you brought that up, Hannah, because it is true. If you're buying what you can list each week, don't sort it. But do all the repairing and adjusting all at one time. So sit down with the 10 items you're going to list. Make sure they're all ready for photos. So process them.
So are the mids different than like bread and butter? Like, is a Banana Republic bread and butter, or is it mid? Is it the same?
I think it's like mid to low.
Okay.
Yeah. Banana Republic is definitely not great. So it's bread and butter. But for me, like, I have really low standards. So $20 is a home run. I'm happy with $20. And some people, like, they don't get out of bed for $20, and I get it. But that, for me, $5 is a base hit, $10 is a double, $15 is a triple. Home run is $20. Because I can list at least 10 an hour. And 10 an hour is $200 an hour. So I remember when Pokemon Go came out, that's how I got into eBay. And Pokemon Go was making Nintendo $10 million a day. And the CEO said, I don't get out of bed for $10 million a day. It doesn't matter. This is like nothing. We do that like every second in plush, in video games, and whatever. That's nothing. I just thought that was funny because I thought it was the best thing ever, but he didn't even care. It's too small. So, David, what's up?
Hey, now that you had me all, jaded because I got to wait a little bit longer for my sports cards.
That's right.
I'm not jaded. I should say jaded. Jaded. It's just, it's going to be a little bit more money than I already knew, but I thought maybe there was some other thing that I was missing. I was always thinking about always doing maybe another, like getting into jerseys because I like sports and it's something I know about. Back when I used to sell everything, I would do a lot of research on different like jackets and things like that. I don't want to get involved in that. I want something that's very small, like jerseys or t-shirts, sports t-shirts. But it seems to me that it won't help my store with regards to selling more cards because eBay is just going to treat it as two separate categories, almost like two separate stores.
It is.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it is going to treat it like two separate stores. But what you want to do is look for something that's hard to sell. I know that sounds weird, but one of the reasons why I picked jeans is because it's a pain in the ass. If you could sell dishwashers, you would kill it because it's so freaking hard. No one wants to sell dishwashers. They're literally free. Sometimes you can actually pay people to come take them away. So the more pain in the ass the item, the better. That's why all the money in sports cards is people who buy millions of cards and list all of them, or people who wait for the graded, because those are the two pain in the ass models that nobody wants to do, but it makes all the money.
I don't mind waiting because I've done it. I've done it on a smaller scale for a while. It's just
large
if
scale,
I want to,
bro.
what?
Large scale, all graded, all long term. Be that guy.
So it's very money intensive.
I know.
That's the thing.
No, it doesn't have to be. If it doesn't have to be if you break all your own cards.
If I what?
If you break all your own cards.
If you're buying most cases now are worth $1,500, $2,000, and if you're buying 10 cases to do that, and plus the time it takes to sort, and I'm trying to do this. I have a full-time job, so I'm trying to.
I got you.
I also have the time that I got to think. I can list pretty quickly. I've actually, I could take pictures. I could take 15 pictures of 15, 20 items within 6-7 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
I've really gotten quick at listing, but and that's why I'm saying jerseys. I know a little bit about it. It's something I know, and I can still do the grading, but on a scale where I can afford. Because you still have to pay $30 to get a card graded, not PSA, because they take a long time. I'm talking about the different grading companies. So I would have to lay out, if I'm doing 100 cards, $3,000, and then wait 2 months.
I don't think cards work small scale.
No, I know. That's what I've been. That's why I'm sort of trying to find a different avenue where I can do the slow route and also have something else where I can churn a little bit.
Just do clothing. Clothing works. You can have 100 item store and clothing will work. And you can make 100 item store over one weekend. It works.
I know it worked. No, I've seen everyone, and I don't have any problems doing the research, but yeah, you might be right. You might be might be changing me.
So back to, because I'm going to relate it to Arwen's question earlier with the eBay gives you a certain amount of traffic for each type of item, right? So maybe it gives you this much for coins and it gives you this much for jackets, right? If you go jackets, coins, your traffic does that. And that's makes it harder for eBay to give you the customer. But if you listed 5 jackets, 5 coins every day, your traffic would be the same. It makes it easier to, the more variable. eBay is a robot. They're trying to give you customers. They want to give you customers so you can make them money. But if you make it confusing for them, like, what the hell? Yesterday you were this guy. Today you're this guy.
That's why I don't want to start. I don't want to start going.
They want to try to make it easy. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, gotta go. I'm gonna be on Whatnot next.